All right, I'm outside my printers, waiting on my flyers. I'm about to take them around to promote this Kickstarter. Hellmonic Streets is no joke. I wanted to talk about, I guess, the risk and the revolution in making political comics, political comic strips, political pages, just how that can be used, I guess, progressively, right? You can do things negatively, but I don't want to get into all of that. But in terms of using things more positively to move the things, challenge authority, I am a political person. I was in the politics since I joined the NAACP, maybe in the 10th grade, right? And ever since then, people see me more as a political activist than even a comic book person or a filmmaker. I had to really change that image of myself because my involvement in politics was so strong and still remains strong that it had it was who I was. It defined me. Then I started writing science fiction books, and I love that. But the science fiction books and film, even the comic books, became a merger of all of my past experiences. So I'm not a hypocrite. I just evolved. I grew and changed. So when I write my books, even my first movie, Holla If I Kill You, is an opinion about the world of comedians and entertainment. How do you grow, and how do we deal with our artists after they have the ups and downs of the entertainment industry. My second movie, as you know, Gold Digger Killer, hit the nail on the head with my opinion about hip hop and misogyny, and now I'm doing the same thing with my comic book. I had this character, Super Black, which was really out of frustration with the overwhelming amount of apolitical black superheroes. If they're not apolitical, then they're overly conscious, Ankh Man and things like that. And I just felt something I needed to say, and it became this character, Super Black. And Super Black was very hard. I had an illustrator just unfriend me after I showed him the script. It was a one-page comic strip, and the guy was like, nah, I can't do it. And there was another guy who actually did it who said, don't put my name on it. And I'm like, God, dog, how political is it? It was a Super Black flying and dropping a kid who called him the N-word out of the sky. He saved this guy, and this guy thought he was, he thought he was a decent guy. He would appreciate it, and he calls him the N-word. So anyway, that became like my first experience with like political satire and comics. I have my whole Gold Digger Killer is against misogyny, and I like to expand my messages. So like the movie really took on hip hop. When I did the comic book, I decided to go for not pop culture, but traditional characters. So she kills a vampire because I felt vampires were, the whole vampire thing is misogynistic in the sense that this guy's power is ability to control people's minds, and he uses it to rape women. You come to me, you will do this. Essentially, that's what he's doing. He's not really raping men, thank God, but, rape is bad no matter whether it's a man or a woman. It is what it is. So I had her go after him. I had to go after a serial killer. Then she went after pimps, and then she went into slavery. And that was, because I'm a political person, right? And in that Monty the Killer comic book, which I'm relettering, and I'm going to re-release it now that I'm doing more satire, I think, understand the game a little bit better, and re-release it. It's going to be even more exciting. I may even tweak the script a little bit, but I had a couple of little side one-page comic strips where she was going after corporate businessmen. She was going after the system of gender roles. And this was back in 2008, 2009. I had wrote all this stuff. And I'm tweaking it, getting it fixed up, going to re-release it. I don't think I even have to redraw anything. It's just I'm going to get it all colored up. So anyway, I see this opportunity to have Super Black become more of a statement. And I started doing tribute covers. I did a tribute cover to The Last Harlemite in tribute to Akira, right? I did that in 2023. And it really, people love it. People love it so much that I'm either going to print it up on a t-shirt or I'm going to, I printed up on cards, but people was buying the cards. I was giving them away. And people was like, how much? I was like, all right, give me $1, $2, whatever. And so now the cards are sellable just because of this tribute cover. And it really works with the story. It wasn't just something out of the blue. And then I started seeing other people do tribute, or they were doing them, and I just started picking up on other people's tribute covers. And I was like, wow, some of them are like apolitical. They're softer. They done soften the politics from the cover, the original cover, to be less political. Maybe they didn't understand it. You know, a lot of people did this Captain America punching Hitler cover, and I get it. I'm totally against Hitler. You know what I'm saying? He is the father of Aryanism or whatever, whites, not necessarily white supremacy, but that Aryan energy. You know, he's a big proponent of this, of course. But I felt that statement of Hitler is old, is safe. You know what I'm saying? And if anything about political comics and political cartoons is that they're not safe. You're putting something out there that is going to get you, not get you canceled because you're speaking for the revolution, or you're speaking for the powerless, right? That's why you're doing a comic strip in the first place. And, you know, you're taking on the power structure. And I saw this, well, let me finish. So with my Super Black, instead of punching Hitler, I said, let me update this. Now we did a whole mock-up of, current things. And I said, you know, who represents Hitler now is this MAGA white supremacy energy headed by Donald Trump. So I parodied my Donald Trump. I had my Super Black knocking him out. And then I put, you know, Proud Boys, I put the wild moose head dude, and all of those energies, White House and drones, and just threw it on there. And it modernized it. And to me, it's a tribute, which is a copy of something that already was, but it is a modernized version of it. And it's what political comics should be. It should be taken on. I don't need Super Black punching Hitler. That don't mean, it means nothing. You know, I had my Baba take on the White Hoods, which was like the Ku Klux Klan. Now, the Ku Klux Klan may still be around today, you know, and they still may do stuff. And Baba is a character that protects a cemetery. And at the time, I was reading about how these white supremacists, probably Klansmen, are going and desecrating the tombstones of what you call it? What's the dude? The one they said whistled at the girl, Emmett Till, right? And I wanted to do something with that, so I did something a little bit. The story was more involved. The cover, the guy just wanted, he said, just put the white hood in his hand. And I was like, all right, you know, I wanted to go with him yoking him up, but he does that in the story. And that was that. But I was like, that's a little bit, okay, that's modern. It's, you know, Ku Klux Klan is around now still, so I get it. But I wanted to come stronger, and that's how that Super Black came. I did the Baba cover in 2020. I wrote it in 2019 and came out in 2020. Now, I've seen more, I guess, political covers, right? Or not political covers, political expressions. And now I'm like, I see the strong ones and the soft ones and the safe ones, right? I saw this Dora the Explorer. It's so funny. I'm thinking of a Dora the Explorer spoof story, right? And I saw the balloons where she was being chased by ice. And I was like, golly, she's running from ice. And I mean, like, all the things you could do anything with your comic. Why be weak? It's like these slave movies. People got all these slave movies where they're not autobiographies, right? They're not autobiographies, but they are sort of exaggerations in certain areas. And so I'm not saying go full out Django, but dang, you could have the strong slave rebellion stories that we do have somewhere in that. Not until Woman King did we see something really strong. Everything was Amistad. Everything was 12 years a slave. And we were just so, beat. It was like seeing Roots over and over again. So, in Imani the Killer, I have her taking over a slave dungeon. She's going, Legend of Nigga Charlie in my comic book, right? So when I did this is to give you contrast, when I did my Superman, Super Black's tribute cover, where he's holding the car, Superman is holding the car, and it says Action Pack or something like that, Super Action or something like that. I had my Super Black throwing an ice truck. The fake police that are going out, running around, deporting American citizens and families of people, doing the white supremacist work. So I had that as my Super Black cover. And I had a little Karen in the corner talking about, you can't do that. I'm going to call the MAGA police. And, there's no such thing as MAGA police, but I thought it was hella funny because I think that's what, and I'm only explaining my joke, right? Because I want to make these points. I'm putting stuff in these pictures because it's political. I have a Latino lady speaking Spanish. Gracias, Super Black and Super Negro or whatever, I want people to know that Negro means black. So, and there's another dude running, they got a Super Negro, Super whatever, Super N-word. And I just felt it was so involved. When you doing something like that, you can do whatever you want. Why not have Dora the Explorer giving Ice a karate kick? You understand? Or kicking Ice off. How about Dora goes back and leads a Mexican police raid on Texas and kicks all the American citizens out of Texas and reclaims Texas for Mexico? How about that? Or not just Mexico, all of what used to be Mexico. How about that? You're not doing right. We rescind our agreement and this is where we at right now. How about that? You want to succeed Texas? Well, you're not in the United States, you in Mexico, and all y'all not respecting us, get out. That's a political expression. So I say all that to say I think political comics have a huge opportunity. They have a huge responsibility. I don't think soft is good. I think soft needs to be stronger. I think these comic book guys, step your game up. I appreciate you all for helping me and supporting me. I just let you know I got more stuff to come. It's not something that is I'm trying to do. It's something that is in me that I already do. So like Spoof Streets, oh man, the things that I'm going after, you'll enjoy it. Hellmonic Streets, that's out now. Please check for it on Kickstarter. You'll enjoy that. And just remember, you can be stronger and you should be stronger in your fake characters. It's not you. Make your characters do something that you would like to do. You would like seen done. Live vicariously through your characters. Let the revolution live through your characters. Again, thank you. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Jeff Carroll, Sci-Fi Express Lane. I'm out.